Hello everyone. In this session, we'll be discussing about polynomial representation using arrays. So this is part of the course Data Structures, which is offered to third semester Beta Computer Science students under the curriculum of APJ Abdul Kalam Technological University. So what is a polynomial? We might have studied in your school days or in your, the previous math sections. A polynomial is an expression consisting of variables and coefficients that involves only the operations of addition, subtraction, and multiplication. So this is an example of a polynomial where you can see this 4x raised to 5 plus 3x cubed plus 2x square plus 5x plus 2. So conventionally, we'll be writing in the descending order of the exponents. So what is a coefficient and what is an exponent and what is a term of the polynomial? When you are considering this polynomial, there are 5 terms in this polynomial. This is one term, 4x raised to 5 is one term. This is the second term, third, fourth, and fifth term. And when you're considering a single term, you have a coefficient and you have an exponent. So here 4 is the coefficient and 5 is the exponent that is written here. In the second term, 3 is the coefficient and 3 is the exponent. This goes on. When it comes here, 5 is the coefficient, 1 is the exponent, and here 2 is the coefficient and 0 is the exponent. So this is how you write a polynomial. Now, in this session, what we are looking is you want to write a program to represent this polynomial. So the data structure that we use here to represent this polynomial is an array. And an ordinary array will not suffice. You will have to use an array of structure. Hope you have hope you remember the topic structures that you have studied in your uh, programming in C paper last semester during the second semester. What do you mean by a structure? A structure, it is actually used to hold heterogeneous data, that is data of different types. So you are making use of a structure to hold the polynomial inside memory. So the representation of a polynomial is done using array of structures. An array element holds each term of the polynomial. So when you are declaring an array of structures, you will be having a particular element of an array declared as a structure. So if you are considering this particular array, each element of an array is in turn a structure. Okay, and the each element of the array is used to hold one term of the polynomial. That is, the coefficient is occupied in one portion and the exponent is occupied in the next portion. And both this entire structure constitutes term 1. Similarly, term 2 is placed in the second array element position. The second array element is also a structure that can hold two members. First one is the coefficient and the second one is the exponent. Similarly, the third coefficient, third exponent, and so on. So basically, you make use of an array of structure to represent a polynomial. Now, how do you define that structure? So you need two members, one member to store the coefficient. So I declare it as int coefficient, and I need one member to store the exponent. So I have two members in my structure and I am declaring it as an array of structure. That means E can hold 20 terms of a polynomial. Now, the algorithm for representing the polynomial using array. So first you have to declare an array of structure. Then you have to read the number of terms from the user. Okay, the number of terms of the polynomial, it indicates the number of elements of the array. Then you have to use a loop to read the coefficient and exponent of each term of the polynomial. So you'll be asking the user to enter the coefficient and exponent of the each term of the polynomial, and you want the user to write or to enter it in the descending order. Then the term should be in the descending order of the exponents, and after that, just like you display any other array of structure, you display this elements of the array of structure as so as to represent or so as to feel it as a polynomial. So I'll give you an example of just polynomial representation. So this is actually addition, but still I'm considering this polynomial. So I'll be asking the user how many terms are there for the polynomial. So the user enters 5 terms. So you'll be running a loop and you will be asking the user to enter the coefficient of the first term and exponent of the first term, and you will be reading that into the first array element. Okay, so you'll be reading in 4, 5. Again, the loop executes to enter the coefficient and exponent of the second term. So 3, 3. Again, third term, fourth term, and fifth term. So once the loop is completely iterated, you will be having all the terms of the polynomial correctly represented inside your array. Next is a matter of just displaying the polynomial, ideally with the help of the variable x, and then just displaying the coefficient and the exponent. So this is how you represent a polynomial. Now, in a polynomial, we'll be doing normally polynomial addition, polynomial subtraction, and polynomial multiplication. So here I'll be just explaining the addition of two polynomials. Once that logic is clear, then you can proceed with multiplication also. So for adding two polynomials, coming for basic math, what we want is you need two polynomials and you will be comparing the exponents of the terms of both the polynomials. So if the exponents match, then you will be adding the corresponding coefficients. Otherwise, you will be just copying that term to the resultant polynomial. That is a normal rule that we follow. And always keep in mind, we always want to maintain the order, that is the descending order of exponents. So in this case, say you have two polynomials with you. So you will be reading these two polynomials with the help of two array of structures. The first polynomial has 5 terms, second polynomial has 4 terms. So you will be um, uh, traversing each of the polynomial and you will be comparing the exponents of the first term of the first polynomial and first term of the second polynomial. If the exponents match, then you add the coefficient. So in our case, this case, the exponents match. So you add 4 and 6 and you get the coefficient as 10 and you copy the exponent to the resultant array. So you need a third array to store the result. Then once you have copied these two terms, you will be making use of a pointer or a variable to traverse this array. You need individual variables to traverse through first array, second array, and the third array. So once you have added these two coefficients, then you have to advance this index variable to the next position so that it points to the second term of the polynomial. So the second term is 3x cubed and 4x raised to 4. So when you compare 3 and 4, that is the exponents 3 and 4, they do not match. So you cannot add the coefficients. That means you have to, since you have to maintain the descending order of exponent, you will be copying the term having the highest exponent. So you will be copying that term, that coefficient and exponent to the resultant polynomial, that is 4 and 4. So now you have manipulated only with this term and the resultant polynomial. So you will be only advancing the index variables of this array and this array so that it points to the next term. You did not do anything with this 3x cube, so it remains there. So in the next iteration, you will be looking into or you will be comparing 3x cube and 7x square. Again, the exponents do not match. So you are interested in the highest exponent term. So you will be copying that highest exponent term to the resultant polynomial. And you will be advancing the index variable of the first polynomial. Since you have manipulated with this array and the resultant polynomial, you will be advancing the index variable to point to 2x square. Here it remains the same. And here also the index advances so that it points to the next position. Again, you perform a comparison between 2x square and 7x square. There the exponents match. So you will be adding the coefficients 7 and 2 and you will be storing the resultant coefficient here and copy any of the exponents. So since you have manipulated with all the three arrays, you will be advancing the index variables of all the three arrays. So now the index variables point to 5x and 8x, and here it will be pointing to the next correct location. Now you have to compare the exponents of x since they match. You will be adding the coefficients 8 and 5, and 13 is stored here, and any of the exponents. So now it is time to actually stop the iteration of the loop. So basically your loop will iterate until one of the polynomials become exhausted. So in our case, the second polynomial had only 4 terms. So once the index variable advances, it will not be having any more terms to traverse. So there is no point in comparison. So when one of the polynomials get exhausted, that is, if one of the number of terms in one of the polynomials is over, then it is a matter of just copying the terms of the other polynomial to the resultant array. So here it is a matter of only copying this 2 and its corresponding exponent, that is 0, to the resultant array. Again, if it had some more terms, then that also would be copied. So this is the basic manipulation of polynomial addition. So I'll be explaining it once more. The first thing is you have to read both the polynomials by asking the number of terms of each polynomial, store it in their corresponding arrays. You have to declare a third array to store the resultant polynomial. Then you will have to run a loop which traverses each of the polynomial until the number of terms of one of the polynomials get exhausted. Okay, because there can be cases where number of terms of both the polynomials are equal, or number of terms of the first polynomial is lesser than the second, or number of polynomials of the second polynomial is lesser than the first one. So you have to take care of all these cases. That is why you will be continuing the iteration of the loop until one of the loops get exhausted. Then as you proceed, you will be comparing, you will be taking each of the terms of the polynomials, compare the exponents. If they match, you add the coefficients and store it in the resultant polynomial. If they do not match, then you will be taking the term with the highest exponent and you will be copying that to the resultant polynomial. This continues. And regarding index variables, you will be using one index variable each for each of the arrays. So here, whenever you are copying or when you are adding the terms of the polynomial, you will be advancing the corresponding index variable so that it points to the next term. So the algorithm for this. So what I have already mentioned, I've just written it stepwise. So you have to read the two polynomials, store them using arrays of structure. The term should be in the descending order of their exponents. Then you have to declare an array for storing the resultant polynomial. Now traverse the arrays until one of them gets exhausted and use three separate indices to traverse the arrays. Now compare the exponents of each of the terms of two polynomials. So you will come across three cases. That is, the exponent of a term in first polynomial is greater than exponent of a term in second polynomial. So you will have to copy the coefficient and exponent of the greater term to the resultant polynomial and advance the index of first polynomial to the next term. So also advance the index of the resultant polynomial. Case 2 is exponent of the first term in first polynomial is less than exponent of a term in second polynomial. So there you have to copy the coefficient and exponent of the greater term to the resultant polynomial. So here we are dealing with the second polynomial and the index of the second polynomial is advanced to the next term and advance the index of the resultant polynomial. So the index of the resultant polynomial has to be advanced every time because you are copying the result to the resultant polynomial. And case 3 is if the exponents match, then you have to add the coefficients of both the terms and pass the sum to the resultant polynomial, and you can copy the exponent to the resultant polynomial and advance all the indices to the next term of all the polynomials. Okay. So if one of the polynomials get exhausted, then copy the remaining terms of the other polynomial and print the resultant polynomial. Okay, so this is the basic operation, very basic operation. Subtraction also is similar to this particular operation. Okay, subtraction also is similar to this. Now, polynomial multiplication, you can use the similar logic, that is, you have to traverse the arrays, but a bit more complex way. So, as you know, in polynomial multiplication, you will be multiplying you will be taking the first term of the first polynomial and multiplying it with all the terms of the second polynomial. Similarly, you will be taking the second term and multiply it with all terms. This continues, and you will be getting a temporary polynomial where you will be having terms with terms having same exponents so many places in the polynomial. So that temporary polynomial has to be converted in such a way that whichever terms have the similar exponents, they have to be, their coefficients have to be brought together or added together. So you can manipulate that. Try it out by yourself after studying the basic logic. Okay, so to summarize with, today we have in this session we have studied how to represent a polynomial using arrays. So you can also represent a polynomial using linked list. You will be studying that once you have studied about linked lists in the third module. So hope you understood the session. So thank you. Have a nice day.